And welcome back to Let's Talk News Now. I'm Rick Singer. I have, of course, with me Dave Robbins from VegasNewsReview.com.
Hey, Rick.
Okay. We have several things we want to get covered. First off, did you have a good time last night?
Wonderful. Again.
Again? It's too much fun.
I think I'm a little more awake than you are, though.
Yeah, that's the thing. Is no more parties on Wednesday nights. That's it. It's not going to happen anymore. Okay, yes, it will. But that's a whole other story. Vegas News Review. Since you started this some time ago, it's just been moving forward and forward and forward. So many more people are finding out about it. But since you've been on the show consistently, you have had even more people. I don't know if you're familiar, like with all the, if folks out there are all familiar with all the internet stuff, but you've had like a jump in the last week or so on Facebook of like 129% in a single week.
That's
Isn't
great.
it amazing?
Yeah, I'm not one of those computer people. I mean, I rely on other people to tell me. But yeah, that's great. It's wonderful.
So many of your stories are from a unique perspective. I think that's what makes your website so hugely successful.
I would consider it a realistic perspective.
Okay, all right. From not just a straight journalist, but actually from a practical standpoint.
Right.
All right. One of the things that we have been spending and emphasizing is involvement with the community. And we see where there's a lot of different folks out there in different stages in life, especially with what's happened in Las Vegas over the last few years. We're coming back up out of it, but a lot of people lost their homes, a lot of people lost their jobs, and some people had to move out of the area, and people have found themselves in predicaments they otherwise had never found before.
Right.
One of the things I found really interesting was an article that you wrote about the homeless, and about sometimes some of the homeless don't even really, well, you explain it better than I do.
Well, being here in Vegas for so long, you go down to the Strip or right off the freeway, you always see the same person there with a sign, homeless, need money for food or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But you see them day after day after day.
Sure.
And some of the generous people do contribute. From a past working experience, again, as Metro officer, I've dealt with those people sometimes because the money that they've gathered during the day, they've bought alcohol, they're stumbling around, they actually fall into traffic, get run over by cars. So these people think that they're actually trying to benefit these folks.
Mm-hmm.
And I know they're doing it with a big heart, but
They're doing it for all the right reasons.
They're causing a lot more problems because then it becomes a kind of a property issue about what corner everybody's going to work. Now, the people that you're talking about that have been displaced because of the economy or some problems, economic problems,
Right.
They know where to go. We have shelters. We have churches that are catering to the people in need. And I did write the article regarding that. And one of the readers actually did make a comment to me because some of the people don't want to go to the shelters because of the rules. And it's not because the rules are bad, but if you have a family, sometimes the rules don't allow the families to stay together.
Right.
So that was something I learned because I didn't realize that. But the other people that are going there, they have a desire for shelter, for food, for a bath, and then there's other people in the community that are actually going there. A lot of salonists are going down, giving them haircuts, that kind of thing.
Well, what's really interesting is because we're working with the Salvation Army, and we're going to be having that event on the 24th at Petra. We're going to have down in Bailing at the Da Vinci, and it's going to be absolutely fantastic. But that was one of the things that, having worked in homeless shelters, volunteered time in them before, is that, yeah, it is a real issue because oftentimes shelters are set up for women and children, and dad is displaced. And when there's whenever there's problems or stress or chaos in a family, nothing could be worse than being completely displaced, is that they do want to stay together. And sometimes there is a conflict. Now, it turns out that the folks from the Salvation Army are sensitive to that, and they actually try and make that happen as often as possible. It's not always possible, but as often as possible, because if mom and dad are split, are having to physically split for some time, that can be it. So yeah, those things really do exist, and that is unfortunate. One of the things I kind of got from reading your story and stepping back from my perspective was that, yeah, I'm admittedly, I probably shouldn't say this, it's just between you and I, right? No one else is going to hear this. I'm one of those guys that can oftentimes be that soft touch for $1 or $2 or whatever the case is if I see something that's really hurting. And it's not that I want to be insensitive, but what I want to do is make sure that the money is going to go to a place where they're truly going to get the benefit of what people are looking for.
And that's what's so impressive about the Salvation Army. the majority of their money goes into the program and not so much for the administration or their cost. They probably have the lowest percentage of what they keep out of that extra dollar that you donate.
Yeah, it's truly, truly, truly amazing. What's even more amazing, folks, is if you have not been to vegasnewsreview.com, that you need to do so. And by going to vegasnewsreview.com, you're going to find some of the most interesting and compelling stories that you could possibly imagine there. In any case, we're going to be heading out for today, but don't worry, we're going to be back again tomorrow. You're watching Let's Talk News Now. We'll be back tomorrow.